Wow, look at this beautiful canola field, guys. Isn't that awesome? There's nice yellow canola plants. Wow. Hey, today I want to teach you 2 phrasal verbs. Okay, I'm going to act them out for you. 2 phrasal verbs, and the phrasal verbs are poke out and stick out. Poke out and stick out. Do you know what poke means? Poke means like this, right? If you use your finger and you poke someone, hey, you can say, hey, stop poking me. Hey, stop poking me. You know, sometimes kids, or you know, you might just poke someone. I don't know, maybe you want to annoy them, so you're poking them. Okay, so that's what poke means. Now, to poke someone, you use your finger. Okay, you use your finger to poke someone. You can't really use other parts of your body to poke. I mean, I guess you could say stop poking me with your toes, right? If you're poking someone with your toes, yeah, you could poke someone with your toes or your finger. I guess you could maybe poke someone with your elbow too. But then there's another word that would be better than that, and the word is jab. Okay, if you go like this with your elbow and hit someone in the ribs or something, that's called jabbing someone. It's called a jab. Okay, so you could say, hey, stop jabbing me. Hey, why did you jab me in the ribs? Right, the ribs. If you go like this and you jab someone in the ribs, hey, don't jab me. Okay, so that's what jab means, to poke with your elbow. Okay, now the phrasal verb poke out or poke through, I'm gonna act it out. Okay, take a look at this. This is my car window. I'm poking my head out the window. I'm poking my head out the window, or I could say through the window. Okay, so I'm poking my head out. Okay, so poke out is a separable verb, right? If you can separate both words in a phrasal verb, then it's called a separable phrasal verb. So I'm poking my head out. You could say I'm poking out my head, but it's not as good. It's better to say I'm poking my head out of the window, or just out the window, right? I'm poking my head out the window. Hey, how's it going? Right? So when we use the phrasal verb poke out, we can only use it with our head. Right? Like I'm poking my head out the window. It's just weird if I say I'm poking my hand out the window, right? We can't say I'm poking my hand out or I'm poking my foot out. It has to be your head. Okay, now if you want to use other body parts, then a better word to use is stick. Okay, to stick out. To stick out. Look, I'm sticking my hand out the window. You could say sticking your head too. I'm sticking my head out the window. But for head, I think it's more common to say poke. I'm poking my head out the window. Okay, you could say I'm sticking my foot out the window, or I'm sticking my butt out the window, or I'm sticking my knee out the window. I'm sticking my arm out the window, right? So that's what you can use in a situation like this. Stick out. I'm sticking my hand out the window. Like a parent might tell their kids, hey, stop sticking your hand out the window. Hey, that's dangerous. Stop sticking your hand out the window. It might hit something, right? If you're driving, or if you're taking a train somewhere and your kid is sticking their hand out the window, that's a bit dangerous, right? It might get taken right off. They might lose their arm if the train is going really fast and you hit a pole or something. Well, that would be really bad. Okay, so yes, stick out and poke out mean the same thing, except we use poke out with your head. I'm poking my head out the window, and we use stick out when we're talking about other body parts. You can use any body part for stick, but only your head for poke. Hey, so I was only going to teach you 2 words in this lesson, but you got 3. You got jab as well. Poke, stick, and jab. See, I'm always doing extra for you guys. always trying to go above and beyond your expectations. So if you like learning about phrasal verbs, smash that like button right down there. Hey, I have 2 books that I've written on phrasal verbs. I think you find them pretty helpful. They're on my website. I'll put the link to my website right down there. I think a lot of people have told me that the books are really good and they help them learn more phrasal verbs. So if you want to learn more about phrasal verbs are just so important. They're so common in English, and a lot of phrasal verbs are just really hard to know, hard to learn unless someone teaches you. Well, that's why I make lessons like this, to teach you more about phrasal verbs, and I've written 2 books that I think you'll like, so you can go to my website, check those out. Well, I just wanted to teach you those 2 phrasal verbs for in case you take a road trip like I'm doing right now. I'm doing a road trip across Canada. If you want to watch that series, I'll put a link to my first episode at the end of this video so you can start following me on my trip across Canada. But right now, I'm in southern Manitoba. Look at this beautiful canola field. This is the prairies. I'm on the prairies. Got my nice trusty SUV here, and yeah, so I'm gonna keep going on my trip now. Hope you guys like those 2 phrasal verbs. Don't forget, stick out and poke out and jab.